Hello, I'm K2, and I make bags of joy, my little love bombs, from all sorts of different types of bright and colourful, some repurposed fabrics. And it's funny because the other day I realised that I kind of created my perfect thing without knowing it. I've always loved hearts. You know, like I'm tattooed, I've got them all over my house.
That's what makes it really nice though, like you haven't seen like, oh, something's going to be profitable, I'm going to go into something. It's very like an authentic journey to get in there.
I've basically just created a job of, looking at and picking all of the things that I love, like fabric, colours, trims and fringes and hearts.
Yeah.
And dancing around in my front room or anywhere. Katie France, I like to dance is my nickname. So I've had to that's been incorporated in it. Yeah, it's just all kind of happened because I just tried to just be me with it.
Yeah. I really like you've got very like loving, playful, happy messaging. Do you think that's kind of your one of your key missions as a brand, is to kind of spread that?
I think it's my key mission in life.
Yeah.
Look, like I can be a grumpy little what's-it at times, but when I'm on my game and I'm at my happiest, I'm a cute, fun, like happy-go-lucky girl. Yeah. And that is what I want to be for the brand. I want it to be approachable. I want it to be like you're in the shop with me. Yeah. Like when I do my stories and stuff, I want, like, because I don't have a shop. But if I did, I'd sure be talking to you like you were there. Do you know what I mean? So it's like I'm trying to talk to everybody individually. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I've just really, I like making my friends happy. I like making people happy. Colourful outfits bring people joy. And I suppose I've just, my brand is me.
Yeah, pretty much just an extension of you.
It really, it is. Yeah,
which is nice. I feel like customers therefore invest in that. Like I think nowadays everyone just invests in authenticity.
Yeah.
And someone that you just want to get behind. So did you always kind of want to work in like fashion, garments, textile, or?
Before this was a kids brand. I was called Lemonade Bubbles, Cosmic Little Things. And that started by my friend who used to like upcycle jumpers and t-shirts and things and sell them at festivals. I thought that we'd be good together because she's one of the most stylish people I know. And we just kept getting drunk every time we meet up to talk about things. And I had a holiday planned to India and I went and got a load of stuff made. So basically this has evolved from that and me learning that I didn't want to work on a fashion level with kids because of the shoots and the organisation. So then I started making dungarees and then in lockdown I could just put them on myself, and that's kind of how it all changed. I trained to be a hairdresser.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah, so that was my first, when I left school I did beauty therapy and flunked out of that, and then twice. Sorry, Mum. And then I went back and did hairdressing and qualified. But I'd always been very creative with my clothes. Like I remember going to youth club, like dressed in all orange tracksuits so that I would deliberately try and make myself look like a clown. So like I've always had that creativity in me, but I think I always wanted to be good at things yesterday. So when I tried sewing and things like that, I wasn't good at it immediately. And I can sew a garment together, but not to a standard. So never thought that I would be able to do it. Hadn't really thought of myself as a designer before. And then just here we are.
In terms of your like customer base and target customer, who have you seen respond well to your product?
It's people that love colour.
Yeah.
But there are, 21-year-olds that want to take one to a festival. There are 50-year-old ladies who go swimming in the natural lake at the weekend and take their love bomb down with their swimsuit in. Yeah. It's so different. And in the beginning, I always tried to work out who's my target customer. Like you have to, when you're doing research, you have to like put the name down and work out what Shelley does and all of this. Like, I don't know. They just love colour, and they're bold and they're fabulous and they want to stand out and like make people smile. I think so. Yeah.
And what's the general feedback you get from them?
Oh, people love them.
Do they?
Yeah. I mean, it's actually one of the nicest things. I could cry now, sorry. I'm really emotional about my business at the minute. Oh my God, sorry.
No, that's lovely. It shows that you care and you actually really do appreciate it.
No, I do. And I just love the way that people love them. I love love. And I just think it's spreading a little bit more of that out there. And yeah. Oh, shit, sorry.
Oh, no, it's lovely.
So yeah, I love love, and that's what they're doing.
And do you feel like you get quite good repeated customers, like a really loyal.
Yeah, when I
following.
see a little return customer, I jump for joy. There's no bigger compliment than somebody rebuying from you when they know that you've made it well. And one of the things that I love is when people actually touch them in real life, they go, oh my God, like, I never knew that they would feel like that.
Yeah.
Like, they're almost, one lady said the other day, they're a bit sensory because of the way that they like swoosh.
Yeah.
And they feel a bit squishy on the handles. And I'd never actually really been able to explain them as well as she did. So she did a good job. And it was just nice to see it sort of in writing, and it's made me a little bit more confident with it, because I've struggled quite a lot with the old imposter syndrome.
Yeah.
And but yeah, so it's, I suppose the thing that cures imposter syndrome is a bit of recognition.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
a bit shallow and sad, but
No, definitely, yeah.
but I suppose you're doing it for that, aren't you? And it just feels nice that, yeah, people are loving them.
Yeah, and you kind of said before about how it would be amazing if you had a shop, because you obviously feel so passionate about your customers and have this lovely relationship. It would be nice to interact with them on a day-to-day basis, and like you said, touch and feel the bag.
Yeah.
Do you feel like that's something that could come in the future?
I'd love that.
Would you?
I'd love that. Yeah, I've always worked behind bars. I've always been very sociable. I can talk to anyone.
Yeah.
And I can talk all day, apart from the days when I don't want to talk and I'm just alone in my room recharging. But I'm an outward person, you know, most of the time. And you thrive off people's energy. And I work my energy, like, I feel the love in these bags, and I feel the people that I work with as well. Like I've tried with a couple of other seamstresses, and you don't feel the love in them. Yeah.
Do you see yourself wanting to expand and have a bigger
I'd like
team?
some more help, yeah. I'd like help so that I can do more, because I've got loads of ideas.
Yeah. One of the major things that comes through with your brand is that you are a real massive part of it, and you're the face of it, and everything, all of its values and everything it stands for really comes from you. So I'd really like to talk more about who you are as a person. And you said you're Kate France loves to dance. Where did that come
Oh
from?
God, yeah. I mean, I've told so many people that I basically became Katie France Lice. I've always been her, but she was born in my 20s, because I basically spent the whole of my 20s working in jobs that I didn't really like, and then just saving money so I could go away again and dance and party at the weekends, and, you know, not come home and worry my mum about where I was. So yeah, I was a big party girl, and the dancing for me, there's no worry when you're on the dance floor, you know, like, you're just having a good time. Who isn't having a good time when the dance floor and the music's good? Like, and you're not thinking about anything other than, like, you know, just minding out that you don't hit the person next to you.
Yeah,
like, it's good.
And I suppose that kind of comes through with your bags as well. They feel very, like you said, some people take them to a festival, and the way that they flow, the movement.
Yeah. They're sexy bags.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love them. They're dancing bags.
Yeah, they are. So tell us a bit more about kind of growing up. Do you feel like you would have liked to see yourself here? Do you feel like you could have ever seen yourself here?
God, I think, like, the little girl who used to get bought little gold shoes when her mum's friends used to go to Italy on holiday, I think if that little girl knew that I would be making these bags now, I think she would be very, very happy. I think that there were some missed years in between where I wouldn't have even thought that this would have even been possible. I think it's tough when you're at school. You don't find out what you can do.
Yeah.
You know, we got somebody come to my school who did like a survey on us, and it came out that my ideal job was being a beautician, a makeup artist, but for people once they'd died.
Oh.
That was what it came back from as. So, you know, and the rest of them were just like office jobs.
Right.
Like, so I knew that I was always a bit different from then, when everybody else got normal job things, and I was just like, okay, fine. But, you know, you don't know the options.
Yeah.
You don't. And I think, yeah, that little girl would have been absolutely happy for it with her little bag and her little shoes tottering about. But that little girl, I am that person now with my bags tottering about, like with my trainers now, and I don't normally wear the clip-cloppy shoes, as I used to call them. But I was a bit of a tomboy in between, really, I think, for quite a long time. And then I love a bow, and I think I found a dress that had like a big bow on it, and that was the change of it. It was like, maybe finding different stuff, actually shopping in charity shops as well. It opened me up to finding different things instead of just what was in like Topshop.
Yeah.
And I'm 38, so it was, you know, things weren't as cool then. So yeah, I just found a dress with a bow on it, and that was like kind of the change of it, really. And maybe kind of like the Lily Allen era.
So when it comes to sustainability, is that something you've always been interested in? Is that something that was kind of top of mind when you were creating your brand?
To be honest, I'm not a massive sustainable queen. I really try my hardest, but what made me realise that I wanted to be more sustainable was starting the kids brand.
Right.
I went off to India. I didn't get loads and loads and loads made, but I got too much made for me to be able to cope with when I just thought that I was going to, get some stuff made and people would buy it.
Yeah.
And what I had left made me realise that I never wanted to go away and make loads and be left with it.
Right.
So that's how it started for me. I was made to order when I started, and now I have bags ready to post because of this, you have to kind of keep up with it. But I always work with individual seamstresses. I've got 5, and, making sure that they're all happy and all of that. I just never want to be left with loads of stuff because there's far too much stuff around already. So, working with that and working with what people want and like, you know, and to the demand of it rather than, I don't want to ever throw stuff away.
Yeah. So as well as the made-to-order model, do you have more sustainable textiles or dead stock?
I love using the vintage fabrics. The thing is with vintage fabrics, I'm quite fussy about what I like. I'm not just any old one. When I've got a one that does well, I'll order it in bigger rolls. But obviously with the dead stock, it's a shame because there's a limit. You want to grow as a brand. You want to grow sustainably as you can as a little person that's just trying to do it on their own, which, is far better than a big company, which you have to remember that as well. Because I think you give yourself a hard time. But I think maybe that's something that I've got to get better at as well, is bringing out bigger dead stock. And
so whereabouts do you source from? How do you go about that process?
Boot fairs. I love boot fairs.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, look, you can go online, but you can't touch things and feel things. And you need to know, especially for a bag, that the fabric's going to be strong enough. And that's another factor in it as well.
Yeah.
Is making sure that they're strong enough, or you have to, line them up and make them stronger. But with the old fabrics. But yeah, boot fairs. In Spain as well. My mum lives in Spain, so going over and doing the old boot fairs over there, which are amazing. But yeah, and some on eBay.
Yeah. I know that you've just recently expanded into bridal bags.
Yes, I have, which is just lovely. That, I suppose, I'm, full of love, passing the love on, and then being used on somebody's wedding day is just mind-blowing.
Yeah.
So, that's amazing. And they're actually got picked up. I'd only just launched them one day, and then they put in Rock and Roll Bride magazine in July and August issue. So it's really exciting. But past that, I've got a little beach bag coming and a collab with somebody, and we have literally just spoken about it, and that is all. We haven't even met up, we haven't even talked anything yet, but that beach bags,
very
beach
exciting.
bags coming in really exciting prints. And I'd like to go, I think the thing is for me now, I did try with the clothes, but I think doing one size things for me fits for me, and I think everything I make will be heart-shaped, and I think why not? So we're going to roll with that. So maybe placemats.
That would be nice.
I've got so many ideas. It's working out what to do first.
Yeah.
It will happen, guys. It will happen, yeah.
Obviously, everything is quite one of a kind, the nature of the fabrics you use and stuff. Do you take custom orders?
Yes, and I love them.
Do you?
Yeah, it's one of my favourite parts. Because I love fabric hunting for new ideas, but when it's to make someone's bag dreams come true, it makes it all the more exciting. And I'm not even really that technical, really, but I love making up the little mood boards for them and putting the zips on. Yeah, I love it. I love the challenge as well.
Yeah.
You get a little brief from them, and then when somebody looks at the bag and realises that it's totally hit the nail on the head, you're like, yes.
What kind of requests do you get come in?
So I got one which was Sunshine 70s yellow, and I found just the most perfect, lovely, vintage, tiny little piece of fabric, just squeezed it in, and then just gave it a little yellow trim and lined it in yellow. And she was just squealing over it. It's just amazing, and I love that.
It's really nice though that it sounds like your journey into growing this business has been very organic and just figure it out as you go along. do you have any like certain advice for someone that's thinking about starting a business but has no experience in the business world? What would your advice be to be someone like that?
Keep going. Like, I think that once you've got the idea, and look, I went through 70 million ideas before I got to this one that now I know is like my solid base to build something else on.
Yeah.
And I think actually start with one thing. Actually, that might be my advice. And look, for other people, it might be totally different what they need to do. But I think if I could go back now, I would start with one product. Because I went with a range and I didn't know what I was doing. And then you can build once you're like trusted and known for that one thing, and then you can build on that from there. So maybe that might be my advice.
Yeah, I suppose it's find your niche and do it well before you spread yourself too thin.
Yeah.
Do you think that was there like an instant positive reaction from your audience, or did it take a while to build up? I suppose, is social media a massive part of your...
It takes for fucking ever if you don't really like social media.
Yeah.
Like, it's a tough gig to crack.
Yeah.
And I've had coaches and stuff, but it's been really slow, you know, and it's only really in the last sort of year, I would say, but it's been since January that it's gone boom. Like, yeah, social media, you have to keep going.
Yeah.
I've turned all my analytics off, and that is what's changed for me. Right. I think that through social media, I was trying to be what I thought I needed to be. I think I didn't even really know who I was on Instagram, because I was trying to be... I was still me, but I was trying to be this next thing of me. But actually, I just needed to go back and be me. And that's what's changed for me. Yeah, I've turned all the analytics off. I don't look at anything. I just talk about what I want. And if a bag's ready to go, I just pop it on.
Yeah.
You know, and that's... Because I think that's the way my world works. And maybe the algorithm doesn't like that, but...
I think a lot of people relate to your position, though. I think... Well, obviously, you go into a business and you don't necessarily... Marketing's a whole job in itself.
Absolutely.
Right? You have to do two things. You have to learn so much.
Yeah.
Have you spoken to... Do you have a network of people that are kind of in a similar field to you that kind of share the same outlook on things?
So I've got a couple of friends of mine over the park here that we meet up most mornings, and they've got like businesses themselves, and we like chat about stuff. I think that you have to have some people to talk to about it, because actually talking to your mates about it all the time, it's like anything when you talk about it all the time, and basically it is all I talk about. Yeah. When other people want to talk about it with you because they've got a business themselves, it does help to have like... And I've met some amazing people through Instagram.
Yeah.
But yeah, I suppose the social media thing brings some good and some hard.
Yeah, definitely. So what do you see? I know we've spoken about maybe having a shop, or you've got loads of ideas, maybe growing the team. Where would you see... What if you could dream what your brand would look like in like 5-10 years time? What situation would you want to be in?
I'd love to be in Selfridges. Maybe shouldn't have said that out loud. I should have just maybe kept that in my brain.
No.
But I just feel like that they would look so lovely in there, and I can see the stand with them all like this, you know. And I just think I grew up. It was one of the first shops I ever remember going to, and it's happened recently as well, where I did a pop-up on South Moulton Street with the Lone Hood. And it was one of the first streets that I had ever gone to with my mum. My mum used to love this brand called Butler & Wilson. It was like jewellery, and we'd go there. And it's just like a little childhood thing that I think, yeah, I'd love to be there.
So you touched on Lone Hood. So do you want to talk about how you started working with them and how rental works at your business?
I love the girls at Lone Hood. I just love them, and I love everything that they're about. They got in touch with me before they launched, I think, because I went to the launch party, my memory remembers. And I just loved them from the off. I loved the fact that they were bringing in like the graduate pieces, making things really, really one-off and unique. And I loved the fact that I could do that. I could create like one-off pieces, or people could just rent them because either they love to be sustainable, or they can't afford a bag, or, you know, it's fun. You can basically like reinvent yourself for a day through renting, you know, and I love that. So yeah, it's been great. And recently I've had people renting them from for shoots and stuff through there. So like, there's lots of different ways of it's bringing people together as well. Like, and I love all their swap shops, and I just think I love Lonehood.
Do you think has the reaction been really good to rental?
Yeah, and I think that there are people that are never going to rent. You know, there are people that are never going to rent, but the people that love it, love it.
Yeah.
And I think that, like we said, like it's just a way of opening up your wardrobe, introducing new things or testing things out, whatever it is what you want to do.
Mm-hmm. Do you think that it's something that you want to expand more into in the future?
If it's a one-off, I'd always open it onto there.
Right.
I think that that's the way of getting it out there and letting people, you know, lots of people have the one-off thing, which is lovely. They've all come back, you know, it's like no one's used it, but people just use it for like one night.
Yeah.
And I think because they're so beautiful, and when you're renting, you do take extra care.
Yeah.
Well, you hope.
I do see you in Selfridges one day, so I'm very excited to one day.
I've been telling my friends, but yeah, I think I've written it on my mirror.
Lovely.
I've got a few post-its up there.
Manifest. I don't think you're that far away. I don't. You've been working with Lonehood. Lonehood's been in Selfridges.
That's very true.
So
that's very true.
it's all coming.
Yeah.
I can see it. Well, thanks so much for having us.
Thank you.